Good morning. My name is August Pfluger. I represent Midland, Texas, Odessa, Texas, a large portion of the Permian Basin. You know, right now, as you've heard, the president is in the midst of announcing a ban on Russian oil, and that's great. But it's the first step, and I would say arguably it's the lesser of the steps. The most important step that we need right now is, will the president announce that he's going to unleash American energy? Is the president going to do everything he can to capitalize on the national security implications of our own production, our own supply? Later, we understand that the president may be traveling to Texas. In addition to his pre-planned meetings, what he should be doing is meeting with oil and gas executives and companies. Instead of calling on terrorist regimes to fulfill our needs, what he should be doing is calling on the domestic producers who know better than anybody else in the world how to produce the supply of energy that not only we need, but that our partners and allies around the world need. The Permian Basin is a strategic tool that nobody else in the United States has. The United States has the resources that no other country around the world has. You know, the president's first phone call should have been to the mayor of Midland, Texas, not to Maduro. Just 4 to 5 weeks ago, I was in Ukraine. I met with President Zelensky in advance of what we now know is a horrific war, the images that none of us can get out of our minds. What President Zelensky told me was that without the Nord Stream project, Putin would not have the leverage, the power, or the impetus to invade Ukraine. President Zelensky knows that energy security is national security. He understands the implications that being dependent on your enemies and your adversaries puts you in a position of weakness, and that's exactly what the assault on oil and gas has done. Biden's assault on the oil and gas industry has created an environment of weakness that the United States is clearly in. And instead of being energy dominant, we are now forcing ourselves and our partners and allies to be energy dependent on other countries. We should not rely on our enemies, our adversaries, for our energy needs. Mr. President, it is time to put Midland over Moscow. It is time to unleash American oil and gas. It is time for our partners and allies to depend on us and not on Russia for our energy needs. Enough is enough. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to a phenomenal advocate for the oil and gas industry, somebody who is leading on these issues, the ranking member of the Committee on Natural Resources, Mr. Bruce Westerman from Arkansas.